I once invented a language so I could speak to my sister in secret. I even gave this language its own name.
What's the name of the language?
It is not a word that you will have heard of, and the word is cushion.
Cushion. What?
Yeah.
So like cushion, but cushion.
Yeah.
And could you say something in cushion?
Yeshk.
What?
Could you say something more?
Is that what yes is in cushion?
I didn't claim that the language was sophisticated. I would say you're arbitrarily adding a sort of shk sound.
So do a sentence.
OK. Ashkamench... Ashk amshk.
It's obviously been a long time since...
I lashkli am in joishking the experience of would I lash to you?
You sound like the chef on Sesame Street.
If it's so simple, what did I say then?
Yeah. You said I am loving the experience of Would I Lie to You.
No, I didn't. I said I'm largely enjoying the experience of Would I Lie to You. So it looks like it's not as shameful as you live.
So where did the name for this language, cushion, come from?
I honestly can't remember, but it was called cushion. And I can tell you, part of the language, and I'm afraid I can't explain this to you, would be sometimes mid-sentence, sometimes at the end of a sentence, just to loudly proclaim, cushion!
Cushion is talking with random shks, if you can squeeze them in, and occasionally going cushion in the middle or at the end of a sentence.
You know, my parents... my parents didn't... they didn't work out cushion, as simplistic as you clearly think it is. They didn't work it out, so...
They didn't work it out. When you said, I squunched could go to the shops, they went, oh, what on earth is he saying?
Oh, my God! Hang on, David. Cushion!
So, David, he's been quite fulsome, a lot of detail, but is it the truth or is it a lie?
What do you think?
Well, I believed him up until the point where he went, cushion, and then I...
He's enjoying cushion far too much.
Enjoying it.
Although he could be enjoying it with the fact that his sister is watching their secret language being outed.
Yeah. She won't dislike it. She'll be ashkelushklis delishtis.
I don't. I don't.
And that, my friends, so far is the biggest cushion of them all.
It's not inconceivable, but it is unlikely.
What do you think? Truth or lie?
Lie.
Lie, let's do it.
Lie.
You're saying it's a lie? OK. Greg, truth or lie?
Aishk, washk, telishk, the trushk.
Oh!
I used to try and scare school friends by planting a particular drawing in their pockets signifying death.
Lee, what do you think?
What was the drawing?
It was an owl.
What?
The Owl of Death.
Its full title was actually the Hoot Owl Death Sign.
What do you mean, the Owl of Death? What was it doing in this drawing?
Hoot Owl Death Sign.
That old
I
chestnut.
could draw it for you if you like.
Greg?
Yeah?
I've got a pen, I've got some paper.
I'll come over there.
No, I'll come to you. Don't stand up next to me, it just highlights it.
Can you, Greg, can you...
So please, draw the Owl of Death.
So...
Don't look at it, David, you'll die.
Oh my God! Oh, please put it away.
So just imagine you're innocently, you went in your pocket, innocently minding your own business. You go, oh, what's this in my...
Oh, no, it's the Owl of Death!
Your friends would find that in their pocket and be...
Not my friends, my deadly enemies.
What would be the purpose of that?
It was for people who had crossed my friend and I.
Well, what kind of things would they have to do to cross you?
There was an English teacher who we found a bit boring, so he slipped one in his pocket. That was the highlight of the whole campaign, actually, was that the English teacher once stood up in front of the class and was chatting away and went into his pocket and went, oh. And he went, sorry, everyone. Does anyone know anything about this? Because I've just...
Was the purpose of it to scare them? Like you would tell them later on it was you? Or?
No, of course not. We were both nerdy cowards.
You created a sort of mythology around what might happen if you found the hoot owl of death in your pocket,
In our minds, anyone who found the hoot owl of death in their pocket would very shortly afterwards meet their demise.
Time to take a guess. What are you going to say?
What do we think, Phil? Do you think that is possible?
I think it's possible, but I think it's a lie.
I think it's a lie.
OK,
You say lie, you say lie. What about you, Lee?
I say lie.
Right, Greg.
Yes.
Truth or lie?
Well, it would be pretty tragic if two boys had spent their youth doing that, wouldn't it?
True.
And it is indeed true. I once caused an injury to one man whilst trying to get a different man to say the word vegetables.
Lee's team.
Right, just the word vegetables.
Yeah.
Do you really like the word vegetables?
Not as a general rule, no,
Okay.
but I liked it when this man said it.
Why? What was it about this man, the way he said vegetables, that was funny?
Did he have a speech impediment? Or...
No, he didn't. He was a very intense man, though, and he was also Austrian. I was with a friend once, and he was a colleague of ours, sorry, and I overheard him say vegetables, and we both found it incredibly funny.
So, can you just roughly give us an impression of how he used to say vegetables? Even just roughly?
He said it exactly like this. Yeah. Vegetables. And then we happened to be on a coach trip with him, and so we spent the whole coach trip trying to get him to say vegetables
right, so
again.
where were you? Where were you going and how did you know
I was
him?
on a school trip. I used to be a teacher, so we were
And he was a teacher?
Yeah, he was a teacher.
What did he teach?
He was the head of languages, and he was...
Head of languages? The head of languages used to go, vegetables.
Imagine I'm the man. OK, I'm on the coach, I'm sat, we're driving. Off you go.
So I said,
Yeah? You're very big, aren't you?
this isn't like him at all.
You're very big, aren't you? That's it.
So I was saying things like, oh, I've been trying to keep fit lately, and I know that you're into keep fit. Would you recommend for a healthy diet? And he was going, well, I would... you must eat a balanced diet, you must eat greens, and you must enjoy some protein in limited... I was going, yeah, but I mean, if you were to group some of those foods together... And he was going, well, I mean, yeah, you must have carbohydrates, of course, and you must have... And it was horrific. It went on for about an hour. And every time I tried to find a new angle for vegetables, his ludicrous Austrian interpretation of things led us down a dark alley. It was literally an hour in the making.
And how did you finally get him to say it?
I honestly can't remember. It came out of nowhere, and he suddenly said it, and he said it with such passion. It was... He went, oh, well, of course you must have vegetables! I started biting my hand to stop myself from laughing. And my friend who was next to me, there's a jagged piece of metal at the front of the coach, and because it was so funny, just to remind you, vegetables, of course! And my friend saw the piece of metal and pushed his knee into it on purpose to stop himself from laughing. And blood started, spraying out of his... Started spraying out of his knee, yeah.
Oh, this is getting elaborate, this story.
And I'll tell you another detail. We went and did the trip, which was in Paris, and then after we came all the way back... all the way back to Calais, and I said to him, we put all the kids' passports in that hotel in Paris last night. Did you remember to... Because he was in charge of the trip. Did you remember to bring those? And he was standing up in front of the children on the coach, and he went, "Oh, Scheiße!" and we had to speak to the port authorities and get permission to take the kids on without passports, while he went back on his own. Can I tell you one more detail as well? We were also standing in the middle of Paris, under the Eiffel Tower. We'd been there for an hour, and the kids were all running around. And he came over and went, we must go, we are late for our next appointment. And I said, well, we should just make sure that all the kids are here. And he goes, yes, of course we should, yes. And he turned round and went, is everybody here? And all the kids went, yeah. And he went, well, then we will move on. The vegetables!
What are you thinking, Lee?
I think it's true.
True from John.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
I think lie.
You are a fantastic actor, Mr. Greg Davies.
Well, so what are you going to say?
OK, what do we think,
I
Alex?
think you'll find I'm BAFTA
Okay.
nominated.
We're all BAFTA nominated.
False.
OK, we'll go lie.
I'm going to say it's a lie. Greg,
Well,
truth
well.
or lie?
It is the truth.
I worked in a school. I locked another teacher in a cupboard to teach him a lesson.
Oh. What did you teach?
Humanities.
Humanity? I thought you were going to say humans, then. Humanities. What age were the kids? I'm checking out your teaching credentials before we get to the other bit of the story.
Yeah, all good. Secondary school kids.
Secondary school?
Yeah,
and where in the country was this?
In the West Midlands.
West Midlands, right, OK. You're a teacher, aren't you? Does all that stack up?
I'm not anymore, Lee.
You used to be a teacher, didn't you?
I'm a well-known comedian.
Are you? I genuinely thought you were a celebrity teacher, and that's why you were here. I thought you were from that thing about teaching people in Yorkshire. Is that right?
Where did you do your teaching degree?
Never mind that. Where'd you do your comedy gigs? Why did you lock the other teacher in? Was it a cupboard?
Yeah, it was the humanities cupboard, yeah.
Why did you lock him in there?
Me and him had beef on site.
Had beef on what?
On site.
Is that a sandwich?
No. As soon as we locked eyes, I knew there was going to be an issue because he thought he was the most popular teacher amongst the kids. So I turned up at school, and within a week, I was the most popular teacher in school.
Big
he was
head.
very. Listen, I'm just
What
saying.
made you such a popular teacher?
I was like the Pied Piper of literacy. Kids would follow me around everywhere, like, yo, sir.
That is quite a claim. Pied Piper of literacy? In the humanities department?
That's correct.
Ignore humanities. Come and read my novels, children.
Yeah, and so obviously the reputation's going around school, like, yeah, sir, taught me how to use full stops and that, he's a sick guy. So...
That is a sentence that has never been uttered by anybody under the age of 21. He taught me how to use full stops, he's a sick guy.
Yeah.
How long did you lock him in a cupboard for?
Actually, here's part of the story that you need to know fundamentally. The reason why I chose him to lock him in the cupboard on that day is because I knew it would make him late for his lesson observation.
Observation?
Yes. So a lesson observation is essentially how teachers are judged on how good they are as teachers, yeah? It's not based on how you move these children on emotionally, spiritually, how you build them as human beings. It's a 15-minute window in which a waste man that can't teach themselves comes in and judges you. It's not right.
So you locked him in so he'd get into trouble on his Oh.
Yeah, I did. Should I tell you why?
Please do.
He started spreading a rumour amongst the senior leadership team that I wasn't marking my students' books.
Right. Is that bad?
I wasn't, but that's not the point. You know what I mean? Snitch. Greg, no snitching on other teachers, right?
And what was the upshot of all of this? Did you let him out? Did he escape?
Is he still there?
No, I did let him out eventually. I just wanted to ensure that he was late for that lesson observation because that means you're looked upon very harshly by the senior leadership team that he had been snitching me out to. So, you know, fair's fair, square's square, you know what I'm saying?
If you were capable of locking a man in this cupboard, surely a kid could have got locked in there and it would have been a health and safety disaster.
Yeah, I banged a couple of them in there as well every now and then. But
All right, what are you thinking?
I'm saying it's true.
Lucy? Do you need rebooting?
I'm going to say it's a lie.
Are you?
I just find it implausible.
Do you believe people can have beef on site?
I'm persuadable. I don't feel so strongly about it.
Well, they say it's true.
You're going to say it's true. OK. Guz, were you just telling us the truth or were you telling us a lie?
I was telling...
Technique I often use to determine if someone has singing potential is to get them to sing Bar Bar Black Sheep as if they are frightened.
David?
Is it? As if they are frightened?
Yes.
And what is it about that tells you anything?
It's to determine whether they can perform.
But
Not just to sing, but whether they can take it to the
look
next level.
terrified while singing, because that's the key skill needed in a choir.
Yeah, no, it's more about them. You know, it might be that I want them to get under the skin of a piece of music that I'm going to do later. So I want to see whether they've got what it takes emotionally to connect with the song, even if it is Bar Bar Black Sheep.
Is that one of your favourites, Bar Bar Black Sheep?
Well, it's a very good tune.
Well, look, the talk is cheap. Let's see some of that, and I use this phrase advisedly, Malone magic in action.
Greg, could you sing Bar Bar Black Sheep as if you were frightened, please?
Fine, I'm an incredibly versatile actor. Let's go. Frightened?
Frightened.
OK.
Oh.
Black sheep, have you anyone? Signs.
Yes, sir.
3 bags full.
Are you being Barry, Robin, or Morris? Can't quite tell.
I think we've established that he's got potential, and the important thing is...
Give me another emotion, Gareth.
No, well, that's...
Yeah, I know, but give me another one. Just...
Well, all right. Sexual joy.
Hang on a minute. Have you
Can I do the frightened one?
Oh, you want to do that?
I don't get to look someone in the eye very often.
You know what I'd love to see? I'd love to see, is there anybody here, do you think, who perhaps doesn't like singing, who might be sat in between... Who might be in between his teammates now thinking, oh, I do hope they don't come to me. Is there anyone?
Why don't we ask David to...
Oh, OK, all right.
Could you perhaps sing Bar Bar Black Sheep?
Bar Bar Black Sheep, like I'm very frightened.
Go on, David.
OK. Bar Bar Black Sheep, have you anyone? Yes, sir, yes, sir. 3 bags full.
You know that Gareth didn't want you to sing Bar Bar Black Sheep as if you were a sheep, don't you?
But what do you ascertain from what he's just done?
Well, I mean, he can sing in tune and... in the broadest sense. Yeah, and making people feel comfortable and, let's not start with the Mozart Requiem. Let's start with Bar Bar Black Sheep as if frightened.
So, what are you thinking of this claim of Gareth's? I think it's true.
Also, you have got to have a thing, if you're auditioning lots of people, you can't think about it with each one. You've got to have a thing you ask everyone to do.
Yeah.
So I think we're saying it's true.
I think it's true. OK, Gareth Malone, truth or lie?
It is... a lie.
I was once dragged into the headmaster's office after I was caught leaning out of a window and firing a cream egg into my friend's mouth with a catapult.
Was this when you were a teacher or a pupil?
I'm ashamed to say it was when I was a teacher.
So, can you describe the setup?
I was teaching in a drama studio on the ground floor, and I could see my friend who was teaching economics on the second floor at the end of the building.
So it's across, is there like a courtyard in between?
Yeah, playground.
Playground, and...
You went to different schools, didn't you? Did the moat not get in the way, or was it... Right, goody, the bell's gone, let's go to the courtyard.
OK, let's... You're firing over the croquet lawn.
I'd confiscated a catapult that morning from a child.
OK.
I was in my drama studio. There's an office. I closed the door and let the children do whatever they used to do in my lessons. Sure. And I hung out of the window. I saw my friend, Gavin.
Yeah.
And I went... It was the height of summer.
Right.
So Gavin is in the middle of an economics lesson, and he goes, oh, there's my friend. Gosh, he's holding an unwrapped cream egg. And he goes...
It wasn't quite that instinctive. I waved the catapult at him, and he was baffled at first. And then I could see him distracting his children by setting them some mundane task. Then I revealed the unpeeled egg.
Which, by now, by the way, hashtag height of summer, melting. They melt very fast.
Here's the thing, Claudia. I genuinely had a mini fridge in my office because... I did, because I regularly abused the drama budget. I'm sorry, but I was very bored. I bought a mini fridge. And just to add colour, I'll tell you this, I bought a top-of-the-range DVD player and I swapped it for one that my grandmother had given me. Took a really nice one home. Separate story.
Can we say that we believe that story?
That's the story. I've got a technical question about the window.
Yeah.
Good.
Because in schools, windows only open to a very small certain point, so the kids can't jump
Especially
out.
on the second floor.
Wow, how rough was your school that you taught?
Really bad.
You couldn't, in case they jumped out.
Yeah, just in case they jumped out and drowned in the moat. So basically... You've got that window will only open to a certain point.
Yeah. The window did only open half, so Gav had to get on his knees and position his head. His head virtually filled the amount of window that was open. It was a slide-up window.
Where was the headmaster at this point? Walking through playground/courtyard?
He was in his office, I imagine, pretending to do work.
Oh.
And here is the thing that will convince you one way or the other straight away. Gavin... I would say it was 25 foot, and Gavin did catch it in his mouth.
What are they clapping?
You lot are going to feel so stupid if that's a lie.
What do you think, David's team? Does it ring true for you?
I do believe the lie is being packaged with real stuff. So, confiscation of the...
The mini fridge is true.
Yeah.
True.
The confiscation, yeah.
Everything around the lie is true, but the lie is still a lie.
OK, let's go. Let's go.
We'll go lie.
You're saying it's a lie. Greg, was it the truth or was it a lie?
There were elements of truth, but yes. Damn you, it was a lie. At school, I invented a game called Snorkel Parker Music Practice Room.
There we are. Lee's team, what do you think?
What was the game called again?
It was called Snorkel Parker Music Practice Room.
Right, and can you describe the game to us?
Myself and several friends, we all had Snorkel Parkers.
What is a Snorkel Parker for some of the younger viewers?
It's a large hooded coat with a fur-lined
Oh,
collar.
the one that comes out at the front.
Yeah,
and it's fur.
And you can zip it up so that it comes right up, and so that only your eyes are visible. Right.
Can you describe the rules? Imagine we've never met, I've got my Snorkel Parker. What would happen next?
Well, then you and I, Lee, will go to the music practice room when...
I'm not falling for this again.
And you zip up your Snorkel Parker, and then you, when someone's practicing their violin with a violin teacher in the music practice room, you duck down below the window, and then you just come up with your Snorkel Parker on.
So just imagine you're a historical reenactment society. You've got your members there.
I suppose.
How would you?
I'd have to fully demonstrate it by using my making an ad hoc.
Feel free to
Snorkel
ask
Parker.
Richard and David to help you out on this.
Will you help me out with this?
Well, I mean, I see, this is one of the moments where I don't like having to. All right.
You want to do it?
Yeah, all right. Below our desk. Yeah. All right.
So if you imagine that this was the music practice room and there was someone in there having a lunchtime violin lesson, you would wait until they were in mid-tutorial and
Right, I'm picturing it, yeah.
And then together, after 3.
Okay. Yeah.
1, 2, 3. 4. That's it, really.
Was the secret to getting the fact that they never knew who you were?
They wouldn't know you were because it's only your eyes showing. And he'd tell you to go away, so you would all duck down away, and then you'd leave it for a minute.
And then come back
and then you'd just come back up again.
Right.
Yeah.
What age were you?
Maybe...
Tell me you weren't one of the teachers.
No, maybe 13, 14.
Right the way through to when you left?
Right through till sixth form, yeah.
You never got told to stop this, or you got...
Yeah, well, they would bang on the window and be really furious with us.
For 5 years, they were banging on the window. They never once thought to come out and say, lads, it's getting really boring.
But you see...
And we know you are, Greg, because you're 8'6".
But just out of interest, by show of hands, who would like to play Snorkel Parker music practice room?
I'm quite keen on the game.
I've already played it. I didn't really enjoy it.
It sounds ridiculous. I mean, the last time...
It does sound utterly ridiculous, Greg. It's almost as if you're lying.
Do you think he is lying, Lee? What are you going to say on this one?
Well, I actually believe him. I could just see you doing that for kicks and giggles.
Bob, which way are you leaning with this?
Well, it's got the anticipation, it's got the jeopardy, it's got the lot. What a game!
Greg, something tells me you're going to get a phone call from Waddington's.
If this gets picked up, this is... Just because I've talked about it now, it's mine, right?
It's only yours if you really played it. If it's a lie, then you haven't copyrighted
it. If it is a lie and I've just read it off this thing, whose idea is it?
Well, the person who wrote the lie.
I'd like to maintain the rights to Balaclava Sports Hall. if anyone's interested.
Right, Lee, it's time to take a guess. What are you going to say?
We're going for true.
You're saying it's true. OK. Greg, were you telling the truth? Or were you telling
Well, right, because that would make me utterly pathetic, wouldn't it? Yes, I was telling the truth.
Yes, it's true. Greg did invent a game called Snorkel Parker Music Practice Room. At school, Greg was very popular with the other pupils. Not surprising, really, considering they'd created him in a science lesson.
For my first term at university, I rented the bathroom in a student house and slept in the bathtub every night.
Lee?
Greg?
Yes?
Before we even start this, can you stand up?
There'll be no... Unless David stands up with me, there'll be no perspective.
David?
In fact, let's have proper perspective. Connie, can you stand up?
You know the question.
Yeah.
What's the answer?
Well, I just hung off the end of the bath, as I hang off every single bed that I've ever slept in.
No. You definitely don't hang off a bath like you hang off a bed. Because a bed go like that, and then you hang off.
Yeah.
You'd have to go up and cross and hang off. You're tall, but you're not a snake, Greg.
The thing what actually drove me to change my circumstances was that I was bruising the side of my cheek regularly by waking up in the morning and clanging into one of the taps.
Can I ask why on earth you would sleep with your head at the tap end? That is mad.
Yes. Well, you know, I was 18 years of age and I mainly lived off Thunderbird wine, so bad decisions were my forte at that period.
So did you have a bed in the house? Did you? Oh, so that was the reason you was in the bar.
There was a.
Well, why did you think he was in the bar?
I chose to, Phil. Yeah.
How many other people were there in the flat?
3.
3 people. What? 3 beds?
Yeah.
Why would you not sleep on the floor next to the bath?
We had a giant 1970s sofa that had a peculiar corner unit, and I took both cushions from that corner unit and they fitted in the bath perfectly, and it was incredibly comfortable.
So hang on, it wasn't a freestanding bath?
A roll top?
Yeah, was it a roll top freestanding bath?
It wasn't a freestanding bath, but the end of the bath projected out into the room.
Where was this, Greg? Which town were you? Was this Oxford or Cambridge?
It was in Isleworth in West London. It was only because of a mix-up in housing agreements. We soon sorted out after a term. I only had to do it for a term.
What was the mix-up?
I'd agreed to move in with these 3 guys and we got the wrong size house.
Hang on, that's not a mix-up, that's just stupidity. There was 4 of you, and you got a 3-bedroom house. Been a bit of a mix-up,
The boys blamed me, which is why I got the bath.
Why did they blame you?
Because I was the one who booked the house.
How did you get into university?
So, Lee, what are you thinking?
Marcus?
I think it's too preposterous to be true.
The taps for me. You don't. If you're going to sleep in a bath, you don't put your head up the tap.
Silly.
I think it might be true, but I'm not going to over...
Oh, well, you're the skip. You've got the armband, son.
I might be the skip.
Do you get armbands if you're a captain?
Only if you can't swim.
I'm telling you, I don't know if this is in the spirit of this game, this is true.
That was sufficiently moving. I'm going with it. I'm saying it's true now.
What are you saying, Skippy?
Should we say true?
True.
Not Skippy, Rob, not Skippy. That's no good, right? I'm not going to go and go and fetch help. I'm the skip, right?
Someone's fallen into a mine shaft.
We're going to go for true.
Go on, mate.
True. Change it to true. We'll change it. We're going for true.
You're saying it's true. Greg Davies, were you telling us the truth or were you telling a lie?
Do you feel, David, any sense of genuine competition in this game?
Yes, I do, yeah.
Then I think you're going to like me very much. It was a lie.
Yes, it was a lie. Greg didn't sleep in his bathtub every night for his first term at university.
While on a camping holiday in France, I invented a game my family and I couldn't stop playing. We call this game Milky Cow.
David's team.
Well, to explain the rules of Milky Cow.
I feel I should probably start with the origin of Milky Cow. Would you?
No need, just get straight to the detailed rundown of the rules, and then we can do the background later.
Milky Cow is essentially...
Don't look at me.
It's a test of the strength of your lungs, really, because a player in Milky Cow would breathe in as deeply as they can and then breathe out whilst constantly saying the phrase Milky Cow. If you stop, then you're out. This is working, right?
Yes, yes.
So it's the person who continually says Milky Cow for the longest is the winner.
Right.
So if let's say, imagine we're your family camping.
We weren't camping. We were in a hotel, Claudia, but carry on.
If you want to revert back to your car.
Hey, hang on. Yes, refer back to your card for a moment.
Oh, we were camping. Yeah.
You might want to keep that face on. First rule I want to lie to you, always keep the card face up.
I would say that Milky Cow was played for many summers. And it was played in hotels and camping. It was the origins, actually. We were in a sort of chalet in a mobile home.
Can we play Milky Cow?
Absolutely,
Let's play it. So go on.
You're not going to ask me, so I'm going to tell you the origins because it's relevant. My sister saw a lady on the same chalet area in the south of France.
Yeah.
And she was a perfectly normal-looking girl, but my sister said, "Look at that Milky Cow." And when we all looked at her, she had quite bovine features. Every day we saw her, and Milky Cow became exaggerated every time we saw her. So the first time we saw her, my sister went, "Look at that Milky Cow." We all went, "Oh." And maybe on the third or fourth day...
Yeah.
my sister just naturally went, "Milky Cow." And then we all started driving past her and going, "Milky Cow." And as the days went on, it became Milky Cow. Eventually... Oh, I've been on this show for 5 minutes, I already feel insane. Eventually, it became a test of who could say the longest. Right. So, do you want to...
Of course.
Play?
Well, you say that it's addictive, so I imagine if I start now, I'm off.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe we'll stop playing Would I Lie to You? Here on it'll be like a footnote in the history of the incredibly successful television programme Milky Cow. For the first 11 or 12 series, it was another game called Would I Lie to You? What's the point in all those lies and truths? Let's just all go Milky Cow. Hours and hours and hours, because it turns out to be the most entertaining and addictive thing you can imagine, and heroin sales will go through the floor.
Greg, over to you.
I feel a little on the ropes after that. Ready?
OK.
3, 2, 1, breathe in.
Quite good fun.
Milky Cow, I win.
We're agreed, then, that Milky Cow is a brilliant game.
Awesome.
The question is, was it invented several years ago in the south of France, or was it invented a few minutes ago here? You think it might be true?
Well,
I mean, it's false. Most deaf. You're chatting, bro, but I think you developed an amazing game on the spot. So, I mean, if there's half a point for that, I don't know how it worked, but yeah.
There are no bonuses for product development. I think it's unlikely to be true.
Yes, agreed.
Are you saying lie?
You happy to go lie?
Yeah, of course, You're chatting, yeah.
OK, you're saying lie. Right. Greg.
Lie.
Milky
Lie.
Cow.
Yes.
The south of France. A mobile chalet. Truth or lie?
Well, I am delighted to introduce Milky Cow to the national stage, because it's true.
Yes. Rejoice, it is true. Greg did invent a family game called Milky Cow.
Dear me.
This week, each of David's team will claim it's them that has the genuine connection to the guest, and it's up to Lee's team to spot who's telling the truth. So please welcome this week's special guest, Ian. Connie.
Sorry, even before we start, I can tell you now, lads, this man does not know David Mitchell.
Connie, what is Ian to you?
This is Ian. When he brought his lizards onto Blue Peter, one of them went missing. Later that evening, I found it in my handbag.
All right. David, what's your connection?
This is Ian. I sat next to him on a plane, and he had such a fear of flying that I had to hold his hand throughout takeoff and landing.
It turns out David Mitchell might know this man really, really well.
Greg, how do you know Ian?
This is my friend Ian. One night after getting drunk together, he was wrongly arrested on suspicion of murder.
There we have it. Connie's lizard loser, David's terrified passenger, or Greg's falsely accused friend. Where do you want to start?
So Ian here brought lizards to a flagship BBC children's programme and left going, well, you know, you don't always go home with the same number of lizards. The great thing with Blue Peter is if you lose an animal there, they'll make up a name for it. What type of lizard?
Yeah.
Well, there was a selection of lizards. He brought in about 8 or 10 lizards, and there were chameleons.
And did one of them change its colour to the same as your handbag?
Yes.
And it's getting lost.
It wasn't a chameleon.
The lizard.
What was it?
It was a lizard.
What was your handbag made?
Oh, the handbag was made of snake. No, it wasn't.
Whereabouts were you at Blue Peter when you found the lizard in your hand?
No, I wasn't. I was actually in my car, and my handbag was on the passenger seat.
Yeah. So you opened your bag to get some money out or something?
I was in the multi-storey car park, and I'd stopped, and I just wanted to check that I had my phone.
Right,
and
OK.
So and then I was
you
like...
opened it, and did you go, hello? Hello?
I had a theory that someone put it in as a joke, but I don't know, and I've not...
Oh, the wacky days of Blue Peter.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's in the spirit of this game, but it really is true.
I'd like to say I'm not stupid enough to fall for this again. I am. OK, right. David.
Yes?
Just remind us again of your implausible story.
Well, I was on a plane next to Ian, and his fear of flying was such that I had to hold his hand during takeoff and landing.
And where were you going from and to?
I was going from Gatwick to...
That's an airport. Think of another one now.
Corsica.
Gatwick to Corsica? Yeah. And what did he say? Was there any, for want of a better word, foreplay, or did he go straight down?
It was... On takeoff, he just suddenly... He started...
What?
He started sort of making agitated noises.
Please, can you do the demonstration? I think we all want to see the agitated noises.
Yeah. No.
Go on.
As I remember it, it was just sort of...
Are you sure that wasn't the engine, David?
Yes. Yes, Lee, I'm sure it wasn't the engine.
So basically, he's sounding agitated.
Yeah.
Has he grabbed your hand?
Then he grabs my hand.
There's no talking. There's not... Do you mind if He's just gone.
Not at that point, no.
You slag, David Mitchell. And what did you say? Do you mind? I'm a married woman. I mean, what did you do?
I don't think I said anything.
You know why he's grabbed your hand, do you? You know he's...
Well, I assumed it was... I didn't think it was sexual attraction.
Right.
But it's very sweet of you to leap to that conclusion.
Did either of you have fellow travellers with you?
No. No,
we were both just flying to Corsica to see what might happen. I was seeing you meet on the plane, maybe. And this happened again when you came in for landing?
After we became... sort of, when it levelled off, we became fully airborne. That sounds like a virus. He then said, he sort of apologised and said, "I'm really sorry. I freak out sometimes on a plane." And I said, "Oh, not to worry."
I bet that calmed him down.
I once stroked a girl's back while we were having a very difficult re-entry over... we were coming into Heathrow, and I didn't know her, and she was crying, and I just reached out and just stroked her back.
There was a reason why she was crying, wasn't there? The madman behind was stroking her back.
I wasn't behind her. I was like that with her. I was going, "Hey, it's okay. No, look, it's fine. This is just turbulence. Seriously, this is nothing. This is nothing. Honestly, this is normal. Really. This bloody hell. Look, not really." And she was quietly sobbing. I mean, it was quite. I'm BAFTA nominated. I should point that out. So these things do happen.
They definitely happen. There's definitely people getting nervous on flights.
I think we have to deal with Greg's story.
Go on, Greg. Let's have it.
I got drunk with Ian, and later he was arrested wrongly on suspicion of murder.
Thank God that bit's in.
Yeah.
So what happened?
Well, I wasn't really part of it because we both passed out. It was a college ball, and we all drank vast amounts. Particularly Ian and I drank a ridiculous amount, and then both collapsed. The last thing I remember is Ian falling down and him obviously being horribly hurt. And I woke up on a carpet and ran...
Nice change from the bath.
Not in the bath.
I ran upstairs and he was sitting up in his bed honestly looking, his face was swollen like a pumpkin. And then he told me that night, when he'd been stumbling about drunk, he'd been arrested for murder because someone with a similar facial wound had murdered someone in the town.
Someone with a similar... Oh, so the facial wound from falling?
Yeah.
And someone with a similar facial wound had murdered somebody else?
Yeah.
That's unlucky.
Where was this?
How did they know he wasn't the murderer? What was the defining point in the interview?
He told me that they'd questioned him for hours, and eventually he said to the police, and I think this is a quote, "I'll be honest with you, lads, I could well have done it."
And yet they still let him out before you'd woken up.
It upsets me to think that police respond to double bluffs like that.
And just to be clear, it was proven at the end that he had absolutely nothing to do with it.
Correct.
Right.
Obviously, otherwise he wouldn't be here.
No.
We never established just why David was going to Corsica.
On his own.
Was it Club 18 to 30 again?
No, it was a holiday. I was going on holiday with a group of friends, but I could only go a day after everyone else.
They made those rules, did they?
So, please, team. Is Ian Connie's reptile wrangler, David's frightened flyer, or Greg's suspicious friend? Which one are you going for?
What do we think, Phil?
I quite like Connie.
Well, we all do.
Well, there you go.
Focus, Phil.
Yeah. No, I can imagine a bit of Blue Peter. He looks like a chap who might sort of keep lizards. I don't know why.
I'm slightly leaning towards Greg, only because I don't believe David.
I'm inclined to think that Connie's story is true.
Oh, go on then, Connie. If you've suckered these two idiots into it, I'll go along with that.
Ian, would you like to reveal to us your true identity?
My name is Ian. Whilst at college with Greg Davies, we got very drunk one night and was wrongly arrested on suspicion of murder.
When I went up in the morning, he was sitting upright in bed and his head was 3 times its natural size. And I went, "Oh, my God, mate, are you all right?" And he looked at me like this and went, "We've gone too far this time."
Thank you very much, Ian.
Thank you.
So, Richard, what is Pauline to you?
This is Pauline. Last year we met at a Snoop Dogg gig and we bonded because we were the 2 oldest fans in the room.
David, how do you know Pauline?
This is Pauline. When I was a cub, she was the Arcala, and she had to take me out of the scout hut once for asking too many questions when we were being given a talk by the police.
And finally, Greg, your relationship with Pauline?
This is Pauline. She's my mum. She once drove past me when I was having my first fight and got out of her car to cheer me on.
Lee's team, where do you start?
Greg, how old were you on this first fight?
12.
Right. And so where was this? At school?
No.
Where was it?
Outside...
Outside the music room?
It was in a street.
In the street?
Yeah.
Who were you fighting?
I honestly can't remember his name. He was a lad, and he was in the year above me. And I remember he had fairly distinctive red hair.
Is that why you fought him?
I fought him because he'd fought one of my friends.
Oh, OK, so this was like a... You were doing a heroic gesture.
Yeah.
And he was older than you?
Yes.
What was your friend called?
Well, I'm from Shropshire, so he was called Chinese Dave.
Is everyone called Chinese Dave in Shropshire?
No, I just think he was called Chinese Dave, and I honestly don't know the reason, because he certainly wasn't Chinese. I think it's because he used to wear a hat.
No, that would be it. That would be it.
That'll be it, probably.
What was your fighting technique, do you recall?
It was a sort of windmill of bones. Just like this.
Windmill of bones? I give you the windmill of bones!
What was your mum shouting at you by way of encouragement?
I mean, as I recall, it was just get in there.
Do him.
Do him, yeah.
Get in their son is what I...
And was she there the first time you had sex?
This was in the street. Your mum was driving
Yeah.
past you, saw
Yeah.
you.
She knew about the attack on Chinese...
Dave.
Dave, yeah. Who wears a hat.
So I presume she saw what was going on and thought, oh, it's good that my son is avenging Chinese Dave's...
So, did she get out of the car or just do it from the
from the
window?
window.
Was it a drive-by?
She got out.
Who didn't win the fight? Did your mum then... Surely she stepped in and stopped her, or did she say, keep fighting?
Well, let me tell you, Patsy, the fight came to a fairly abrupt end.
Why?
And I'm going to give you some very specific detail now.
Thank you.
Because I was chewing polos during the fight.
Please, no, you're not going to try and convince us that they came out and your mum thought it was teeth.
Hear me out. I got caught in their mouth, and literally I spat polos everywhere. And my mum went, oh no, it's teeth, it's teeth!
What's your mum called?
Pauline.
Has she got a nickname, like Heckling Pauline or anything?
No, although I would tell you, she has an impressive history, because she was in a play fight with my dad once, and he locked himself in a toilet, and to get to him in the play fight, my mum punched a hole through a door. So there's obviously a violent streak in this one. It is true, though. It's definitely true, and that is my mum.
Who's next? Who are you going to do next?
OK, so we'll go with David, shall we?
Yes.
David, just let me recap. Am I right in saying that there was a talk by the police at the Cubs?
Yeah.
And you asked one too many questions to the policeman?
Yes, I was full of questions.
What kind of questions were you asking?
Well, I was asking about various, issues involved in fighting crime.
How old were you?
I think I was about 8.
Right. What kind of crime-fighting questions were you asking?
Well, there was a problem, I felt. There was a problem with vandalism and graffiti in the area.
At that age, you're supposed to be taking part rather than complaining about it. That's OK. Different upbringings, that's fine. What are the questions?
I asked a lot about the locks in Cagney and Lacey. I was, at the time, very aware of the security measures in all of those flats in New York and the big locks on the doors. And I said, why don't we have locks like that? And how can we keep burglars out if we don't have locks like that?
Right.
And the policeman was saying how you can't keep out a determined burglar. And I was saying, well, why do we lock the doors at all, then? But I wasn't really aware that he was supposed to be trying to get on with a talk, and the questions would happen at the end, and maybe they wouldn't all be asked by me.
Where was this Cubs?
It was in Headington.
Headington?
Where I grew up.
Well, I know that. I don't think you travelled.
Yeah.
I assumed it was where you lived, otherwise that would be bonkers. Where are you from? I'm from Newcastle, but I didn't travel.
My parents had heard about a very good Cub Scout group about 400 miles away, and they thought about driving me there to get the very best training and tying. Absolutely. But
what badges did you get, David?
Don't talk about badges in front of Richard. Richard, remind us once again of your truth.
Pauline and I met at a Snoop Dogg gig.
Oh, where was he playing?
It was at the Forum in Kentish Town.
When was this? What year?
Last year.
Last year.
So he was called Snoop Dogg because he's been called a lot of things, hasn't he?
He certainly has. In the olden days, he was Snoop Doggy Dogg, but now just Snoop Dogg.
Whereabouts were you in the Forum? Whereabouts were you watching the show from?
Well, we met when there was a delay, as there often is at rap concerts. There's sort of an hour delay, so I went up to the little bar.
Why is there a delay?
Well, because it's Snoop. You don't rush Snoop.
Who supported him? Did he have a support act?
Corrupt.
What was
with a K.
With a K, wow.
With a K.
I'd have left after then.
What was his hair like, Snoop's? How was he wearing his hair?
He was wearing his hair, he had sort of cornrows, essentially.
He knows all the words, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's definitely read up on this.
Yeah. So you guys, your eyes met across the...
No, in this delay, I went up to, there's a little quieter bar upstairs, and I went up there to play a bit of Scrabble on my phone.
Oh, God.
Because I was with younger people and they were enjoying the support act, they were enjoying the fact that there was a delay and there was loud music playing, I was enjoying it less.
Yeah.
Pauline was reading a book.
Right.
So I thought, OK, she's quite bored as well of this thing. So, anyway, I'm playing my thing. She said, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And I said, I'm playing Scrabble on my phone. She said, I didn't know you could play Scrabble on a phone. Right. So I showed her, and then we started playing Scrabble on a phone, have done ever since. And then...
Ever since? Well, you're going out with each other now.
You know what, Lee? Early days. Early days.
Have you actually met up with Maureen since?
Pauline.
You're not going to be able to dissect us with those blunt little...
So, Lee, where's this leading you? What are you thinking, Lee?
Patsy, do we believe any of these people? Because they're all sounding chronically untrue.
The Chronic, of course, was one of the first albums Snoop was on. Dr.
Why
Dre's
did
The
you...
Chronic.
I could see David in his cub shorts and being worried about the graffiti. He sort of the sort of person that it would have upset him. And he...
I'm intrigued by this slight physical resemblance between Greg and the lady.
I know what you mean, yeah. Do you mind standing up, Greg, again? Would you stand next to this lady you claim to be your mother?
Next to my mum?
Well, let's call her a woman for now. Right. Now... I'm guessing, for this mean average to work out, your dad is the Jolly Green Giant.
No, but you see, Lee, it's a fact that a son has to be taller than their mum.
It's either Richard or Greg, I think. So that's my answer.
So you think it's...
I think it's Richard.
You think it's Richard? You think it's Richard or Greg?
Yeah.
Don't
Team
forget
say Richard.
What are you going to say?
The Scout hat one, the...
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry, are you still here?
The Scout hat.
OK, I need an answer, and I really do need it now.
We're going for David. He's trying to double bluff me at the end, so I'm going to go with
saying
David.
It's David.
And if it is David, I'll be so happy now.
You're saying it's David?
I think it's David.
OK, Pauline, would you please reveal your true identity?
My name is Pauline. I am Greg's mother. And...
Yes, Pauline is Greg's mum, and she did cheer him on when he had his first ever fight. It must have been awful to see him fighting.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Pauline.
You're welcome.
So, Gareth Malone, what is this, Gareth, to you?
This is my old neighbour, Gareth, and when I was learning a song, he would distract me by singing the same song in his own flat, but in a different language.
Right. Richard Osman, how do you know Gareth?
This is Gareth. When he came to watch a recording of Pointless, I have to ask for him to be moved away from the front row because his behaviour was putting me off my statistics.
And Greg, how do you know Gareth?
This is Gareth. He was the rickshaw driver I once paid to pedal me home. By the time we arrived, he was so exhausted, I let him stay on my sofa.
So there we have it. Gareth's synchronised singer, Richard's pointless punter, or Greg's shattered chauffeur. David's team, who do you want to start with?
Gareth. What language does he sing the song in, or does it vary?
He was singing in English.
So what were you singing?
German.
Ah.
What song?
I think it was Bach's St. Matthew Passion.
That's what I thought it would be.
So how often did this happen?
Enough for me to remember to mention it now.
Because if a neighbour was singing a song next door to me, the first thing I'd do would be to translate it back to English.
Yeah.
And sing it as an off-putting kind of...
Yeah.
Especially through a wall. That really cuts deep.
How does it go, Gareth?
I can't remember it in English. You don't really want to hear it, do you?
I'd like to hear it as if you're frightened.
Da Jesus diese Rede vollendet hatte, sprach zu seine Jüngern.
And he was singing exactly the same song, the other side of a wall.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I think upper semitone.
So he's your neighbour. He's also called Gareth.
Yeah.
He's singing the same song in a different language and a semitone difference.
Almost unbelievable.
Now, Richard, what was the behaviour in the front row
Yeah,
that Gareth did that was pulling you off your stat?
I sit very close to the audience on Pointless, where my little desk is, and there's an audience very close to me. Xander is further away for contractual reasons. But lots of people come and see Pointless regularly, and they know if they turn up early, they can sit in the front row, and Gareth is one of those people. And there's a trick that people in the audience here, I'm sure if you've been to lots of shows, know that there's a way of getting yourself on a TV show which is laugh in an unusual way.
Sorry.
So now Amanda will almost certainly be on the show.
Yeah.
That's how... So Gareth had a way of laughing. He didn't do it in the first... Because he'd come for 2 shows. Didn't do it in the first show. And in the second show, he'd clearly developed a laugh that sounded sort of like a donkey braying sort of a laugh every time something funny was said. So he did like 4 times in a show.
Yes. Can we hear your version of the laugh?
It'd be like a kind... It'd be like a kind of... that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I could hear it all the way through, and so in the first recording break, I said to the floor manager, could you get him moved to the back?
Yeah, can I ask a question at this point? How did Gareth react? Because if we were to pick somebody here and say, sorry, could you go and sit over there, they might be upset. I mean, how did he take it?
No, floor managers are very good. They always just say, for camera reasons, we need 3 more people at the back or something like that. You see, they do all the time.
He wasn't told what the reason was?
No, of course not.
How do you think he feels now?
Well, yeah.
He literally came up to me about 3 days later and said, I know why they moved me. They moved me because I was doing that laugh. And I said, yeah.
In what context did he come up to you 3 days later, and were you alarmed? During a recording, he sauntered up to you while you were halfway through reading out some information and went, by the way, Richard, I know why I got moved the other day, and I know why security are coming for me now.
No, of course not. We have all little recording breaks and stuff like that.
Right. OK, so during a recording break, he went, I know why I'm laughing normally now.
All right, David, what about Greg?
So, Greg, tell us your story. Not your whole life, you know,
just the rickshaw bit.
Yeah. I had a very big celebration in the centre of town.
Ooh, where?
What reason?
I was celebrating leaving teaching.
OK.
So I had a very big celebration just after my last night at school.
OK.
Which it was ludicrously big.
OK. You emerged from the bar in question,
yeah.
A little worse for wear.
I was offensively drunk.
A rickshaw?
Yeah.
Why?
If I'm honest, I was showing off. It'd been a day of showing off.
How far did you have to take Gareth?
He had to take me from central London to Hounslow, which is...
Hounslow?
Yeah. It's something like... It's just shy of 10 miles.
How much was it?
It was £163.
How long did it take, roughly?
I mean, I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know.
I thought you were waiting for the length of time.
So you arrive.
Yeah.
You give him his money. When does the whole idea of offering him a bed for the night?
We didn't even discuss the money because I got off the bike, and by which point I was incredibly sober, and I looked at his face, and it was it was grey. I mean, I genuinely feared for his life. So I said, "Oh my God, you must come in for a bit," and I made him a cup of tea. We're better than that, guys. We're better than that.
Where did he put his rickshaw?
Is
Very personal. How did it progress from the cup of tea to the sleeper?
Because honestly, I was sober by the time I got home.
He didn't say cup, he said, would you like to come in for a bit?
Exhausted from the bit.
Biscuits!
Fell asleep on the sofa.
Now, let's be clear. You've invited him up for a bit. You go in. What happens?
After the cup of tea, I decided that he was clearly still very close to death. So I said, would you like to crash on the sofa? And I'll give you an extra little detail. As he went past my front garden, he said, what is that? Because I had set fire to my teaching outfit before I'd gone out. When my friends first came round, and there was half of a trouser leg left. And Gareth saw it and went, is that half a trouser leg? Has someone spontaneously combusted?
We need an answer. So, David's team, is Gareth Gareth Malone's synchronised singer? Is he Richard's pointless punter? Or is he Greg's shattered chauffeur?
I've got a horrible feeling he's the pointless punter after all of that.
You think pointless punter?
Yeah.
See, I'm thinking rickshaw driver.
Yeah, the detail that Greg was giving was...
The detail of the burnt trouser
Yeah.
leg is...
That was like he'd forgotten himself and he was getting into his story. Oh,
Yeah.
this happened. I'm really excited.
But you're discounting Gareth altogether.
Oh, completely, yeah.
OK, so you're going for the two tall guys there, the two lanky dudes.
Hey! You know what? We're just two guys.
We're just two people, all
That's what
right?
we are.
The two lampposts there.
We're just...
So, David, what are you going to say?
I'm going to because I genuinely.
You're
so
abstaining.
I'm going to go with the team captain's final decision.
If I had a gun to your head, though, Amanda, and don't rule it out, who would you go for?
Greg.
You go for Greg. All right.
Or Richard.
What do you think?
I think Greg.
You think Greg now?
Oh, no.
We'll say Greg. We'll say Greg.
They're saying that it is Greg. Gareth.
He's a pointless contestant.
Would you please... I've taken your answer. Would you now observe the rules of the game and please treat this with a little more respect? Gareth, would you please reveal your true identity?
My name is Gareth, and I once distracted Gareth.
Yes, Gareth was Gareth's synchronised singer. Gareth, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.